Episode 114, Profit Engines, New Jersey Balloon Festival. Let's hear from our guest.
Howard Freeman, executive producer of both the 37th Annual Quick Check New Jersey Festival Ballooning in association with PNC Bank, as well as the 10th Annual Rock Ribs and Ridges Festival.
Great. When I approached you, what problem do you think you really had? I mean, obviously, this is something that has to do with more than just the surface of when I first thought about, hey, a website and we could help, kind of clean up the digital presence, but it was more than that. Could you explain what problem that you perceived you had?
Social and digital were obviously coming to the forefront. We had 776 million impressions, media impressions on the festival last year, the Balloon Festival. However, as the whole world is turning towards social and digital, I had hired a person out of Maryland for a couple of years that was recommended by another festival buddy of mine. And A, he wasn't local, B, he didn't fully get it. And what I was looking for someone was to totally integrate our package between Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, as well as digital with the website, particularly on the Rib Festival. Integrate it all and understand that at the end of the day, it wasn't about clicks, it wasn't about openings, it was about selling tickets in the bottom line. And CustomerBloom has proven to be one of the best people we've ever been involved with in terms of affecting our bottom line and giving us a return on investment for what we spend versus the amount of tickets we ultimately sell.
And these aren't small festivals, right?
The Balloon Festival has grown in the 27 years that my team has produced it to become the largest summertime balloon and music festival in North America, where we average about 165,000 people each year. The Rib Festival is one of the top 10 in the Northeast, probably top 5 in the Northeast, where we should do about 20,000 people.
And so what that really means is that there are literally hundreds of thousands of people that are being impacted by the work that we've started to engage on. If you think about it from just a territory-wise, that's a lot of people. We're impacting a massive volume.
There's a massive volume, but what CustomerBloom has enabled us to do is instead of saying ready, fire, aim, we can go ready, aim, fire, and be more cost efficient in our spend. I've always, ever since we started with the Balloon Festival 27 years ago, thought that it's a multiple impression event. The first time you hear about a balloon festival, you say balloons, that's what I got my girlfriend on Valentine's Day. Second time, you're like, huh? By about the fourth or fifth time, you say, wow, that seems pretty cool. Balloons are on my bucket list. It's a great family event. Let me get out and check that out. But that's to the masses. So what we're looking to do is not just hit the masses, but target the people who are into, in terms of balloons or families or some of the different niche music groups that we have, some of the kids acts that we have, some of the experiential activities. When it comes to the Rib Festival, we're looking to hit people who camp or have RVs, because we cater to both of those. We're looking at people who have an affinity for Southern rock. We're looking for people who have an affinity toward ribs or are foodies. People who have an affinity for craft beer. So it's those different niches on both those festivals that CustomerBloom has enabled us to focus and hone in on within a geo-targeted region and be more cost efficient with our funds.
You talked a lot about the things that were done. What did you hope to achieve at the end of the sort of results of all this? I mean, we talked about the fact that you've seen a lot of things happen that were better, but what were the goals when you started to work with us, and what happened?
Everybody talks about, I think it was John Wanamaker who once said 50% of all advertising is effective. The trick is to figure out which 50%. The goal of working with a company like CustomerBloom, and specifically CustomerBloom, is to be more cost efficient and hone in on that 50% that is effective, utilizing influencers, utilizing niche and geo-targeting and specific marketing to those demographics, those people who have shown an affinity to the types of music, the types of food, the types of beer, the types of activities, the type of travel with RVs and stuff at a Rib Festival that we're hitting. So cost efficiency and in this day and age when dollars are getting tighter and tighter, it's very important. I gave them CustomerBloom a goal of, for every dollar I spend, I want to get a 10 to 1 or so return.
What what were the things you were doing before? Like what you mentioned a few things. You were working with somebody else. What were the things that you were doing?
In terms of the Balloon Festival, we do a lot of mass market stuff. PR is, balloons it's a good news event, so we're able to provide content for media that they can sell advertising around. It's visual, it's a good news event. We don't nuke baby seals, we don't kill tunas. So what we were doing before was mass market PR in both electronic and digital and the print. We were doing outdoor billboards, out of home. We have 162 Quick Check stores that we have posters in. That's 20 million impressions there, but all of that is mass market. Before, when we did have a social and digital company out of the Maryland market, we were buying some boosts on Facebook. We were doing Google AdWords. We've used the local newspaper here, which is the Star Ledger, and we used NJ.com and some of their things. What we found, particularly with the media, was going through our media reps, was that they were, even radio stations, they were really middlemen, and they were just middling the deal between Google AdWords or the ultimate place where the content was placed. What CustomerBloom enabled us to do was go directly to that, cut out the middleman, and get a better price.
Now, you mentioned some of the things that happened after we got started with you. What do you feel we implemented that had the biggest impact?
Specifically on our website, some of the things that CustomerBloom implemented, which had the most tangible effects, were pop-ups on the website that enabled us to increase our e-blast list, saying, if you haven't bought, put your name down and you'll get first online to get new offers in the future. So data capture is incredibly important. Analytics and back-end analytics, incredibly important, made us more cost efficient. Some other things. This year, particularly in 2019, one of the goals was to increase our Instagram numbers, because Instagram is so important, on both the Rib Festival and the Balloon Festival. And with we started January 1st. This is 5 weeks later. We've already more than tripled our numbers on the Rib Festival, which frankly was easy because we didn't start with that many, but we're seeing that returned in ticket sales to a targeted community, and we're currently double the amount of ticket sales we had at this time last year, and hopefully we continue that. On the we've gotten probably increased 25% or so on the Balloon Festival Instagram numbers, and we started with a bigger number there, but we're also seeing, we haven't spent a dime yet on our first concert that we announced, which is ABBA the concert, and we're already sold probably 30% to 35% of my initial investment in the band. So, and we're 5 months out and we haven't spent a dime elsewhere. So those are some of the biggest things that we see. In the Rib Festival, which is in a small county in New Jersey, Sussex County, we kind of own the radio station. We don't own, but we are all over the radio station and some of the cable up there. But what CustomerBloom has done starting in 2018 and hopefully will continue in 2019 is allow us to geo-target outside of the Sussex County area and extend our reach to Southern rock fans throughout the entire tri-state region of New York, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey. Also, CustomerBloom has enabled us to retarget and remessage people who come, get into our cart, for whatever reason abandon the cart. They've enabled us to retarget and remessage those people, and once again help us increase ticket sales. Not only does it increase ticket sales, but the secondary effect is all those people have to pay to park, all those people eat and drink, and that per cap is very important to someone in the festival.
I think if you were to put this together, I mean, we call it profit engines, but you kind of got a lot of the missing pieces, mechanic-oriented stuff, retargeting, data capture, analytics, all the things that really were kind of missing in the beginning. So now you have some visibility into it, and now they're kind of working together as a leveraged unit. That's what I would say.
What CustomerBloom enabled us to do was take a lot of the things we kind of knew before, but we had them in separate silos, and they've enabled us to put our arms around it, be more focused in our approach. And whereas before, maybe we were in high school or freshmen or sophomores in college, they're now giving us an MBA in social and digital marketing, which is where the world is, obviously, which ultimately will lead to more success and a better return on the investment that we put out with them. So in conclusion, I would say, if you haven't considered CustomerBloom, you're losing out. They're the best thing since night baseball and sliced bread. And I would, forget walk, I would run and call Matt Coffey instantly for a free demonstration to see how he can help your business like he's helped ours. We do sell hot air for a living. He's enabled us to focus it more in and gotten a greater return, and we wouldn't use anybody else.